That's prepare 9898.
Welcome in. Glad to have you with us on a Tuesday. One of the dangers of being a conservative is that you would just like government to stay out of your life. You would like to live your life, and you treasure and prize freedom and liberty. Those are great things, but they also lure us into situations where, say, following the election of Donald Trump to the White House, we relax. We think, okay, America has come to its senses. And the nonsense that has proliferated really since Barack Obama, interrupted by 4 years of Donald Trump, but then returning on steroids, compounding during the Biden administration, that all is back in the White House. If the events of yesterday prove anything, the arrest of the assassin of Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO, and the acquittal of Daniel Penny and the reaction subsequently to it prove anything, it is that the roots of the poison in our culture run extremely deep and are going to take more than Donald Trump's return to the White House and his 4 years in the White House to eradicate them. The left has a hard time discerning between right and wrong. And the reason why they have a hard time discerning between right and wrong is because they are absolutely positively convinced that things that are wrong are right and things that are right are wrong. Let me give you a demonstration. The young man arrested for assassinating Brian Thompson, before he was arrested, was being lauded by many people as a hero, a crusader. They held a killer look-alike contest in Central Park in New York before he was arrested. There are items for sale online extolling him. This is a cold-blooded assassin, not a hitman, an Ivy League educated, privileged elite valedictorian of an exclusive private school in Maryland, whose family owned country clubs, healthcare facilities, and other things. This is a kid who has had life handed to him on a silver platter, who had no record of his DNA in any criminal database. So he's never been arrested for anything. Someone who had the money to get care, someone who could have engaged his brain in any manner of fashion to reform the industry that apparently moved him to assassinate someone he never met, but yet perceived as responsible for his own angst against corporate America or the healthcare industry specifically. This is someone who is so wrong in his approach to life and his blindness to how fortunate he is. But the left thinks he's right. If you don't believe me, listen to Taylor Lorenz. And if you don't know who Taylor Lorenz is, Taylor Lorenz made a lucrative living and raised her profile nationally as someone who worked for the New York Times first and the Washington Post. What was her specialty at those two places? It was doxing conservatives. We now know who is behind the X account Libs of TikTok because Taylor Lorenz investigated Chaya Raichik and put her address online so that Chaya Raichik, who all she did was post content from whack jobs from their own TikTok accounts, that was Chaya Raichik's crime, that she dare expose people who self-exposed their lunacy. That's who Taylor Lorenz is. Here she is on with Piers Morgan yesterday, having written a Substack column, because she's since lost her job, because finally she went far enough off the deep end that both the New York Times and the Washington Post decided to part company with her. Here she is yesterday, Taylor Lorenz, on with Piers Morgan of CNN, confessing to a shocking reaction to the assassination on the streets of Midtown Manhattan of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
This issue of Brian Thompson, one of the top healthcare executives in the country, I'm just curious why your first reaction would be to his cold-blooded execution. And people wonder why we want these executives dead. And then you later commented with people giving you a lot of blowback. I'm not alone, you said. Healthcare executive down with party balloons was on a next post that you commented on. Why would you be in such a celebratory mood about the execution of another human being? Aren't you supposed to be on the caring, sharing left where, you believe in the sanctity of life?
I do believe in the sanctity of life. And I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again...
We're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's been gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that he's murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people.
I mean, I can't even begin to identify with how broken your brain must be to have that viewpoint of watching an innocent person who you've never met, never had any interaction with, murdered in cold blood on the streets of New York City, and saying it made you feel joyful. And then when you're called on how crazy that is, saying, well, I certainly didn't feel any empathy. I guess it's beyond the research capabilities of Taylor Lorenz to go back and find out where the tectonic plates shifted with the healthcare system in the United States of America, and when healthcare companies started to deny coverage. Would it have been, oh, that's right, when every single Democrat in Congress without a single Republican vote rammed through Obamacare and put oppressive regulations on your primary care physician, thus causing costs to soar out of sight, thus causing healthcare companies and insurance companies to become more discerning in what diseases they would cover and what medications they would approve for your care? I guess that's beyond Taylor Lorenz's capacity to research. So now let's shift to New York City yesterday, where Daniel Penny, a white Marine, and I have to say he's white because that's at the core of how deep these roots of hatred and poisonous brain rot run in the United States of America, where Daniel Penny was acquitted because he never should have been charged. After Alvin Bragg, our old friend from the magnifying Donald Trump's payment to Stormy Daniels into 34 felony counts, Alvin Bragg brought charges against Daniel Penny for manslaughter, and then when he couldn't get a jury verdict on that, he dropped them and thought he could strong-arm the jury into a negligent homicide ruling, which in fact the jury rejected after 1 hour of deliberations, no doubt tired of Alvin Bragg's partisan prosecution nonsense. Daniel Penny acquitted, and all of America, well, not all of America, rejoiced. Here is Hawk Newsom, the head of BLM in New York City, reacting to the Daniel Penny verdict.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
He's tired. He's apparently not tired of psychos on the New York subway terrorizing riders, moms, babies, elderly people who Jordan Neely had a long criminal record of attacking as he lived on the streets, not with his dad, who is now suing Daniel Penny Oh, by the way, here is Jordan Neely's dad.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. System is rigged.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
I have an idea. Maybe as a father, you should care enough for your son while he's living on the streets, immersing himself in drugs and other things that degrade him to the degree that he threatens people on the subway. Maybe you should take him into your house and care for him rather than wait until he's dead to sue the person who restrained him.
Rain for the afternoon, the high today at 51. Periods of rain this evening, otherwise clouds and cold tonight, low down to 32. A bit of snow early tomorrow morning, otherwise cloudy, breezy and cold, the high at 36. And then tomorrow night, clear, brisk and cold, low down to 16. For Thursday, partly sunny, windy, cold day, high 24. And then cloudy skies for Friday, the high Friday afternoon, 39. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
Planning for retirement is no small task. If you don't know where to start, join Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group every Saturday at 10 and 2 for Retire Ready Ohio. Rodney shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 10 and 2 to Retire Ready Ohio with Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group. The firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services are offered through Peters Wealth Group, a state-registered investment advisor.
This is Mike Gallagher. If you're looking for the ideal Christmas or holiday gift for just about anybody, whether they're near or far, give a Sugar Bush Gourmet gift basket. Choose from a wide array of chocolates, wines, cheeses, nuts, specialty foods, you name it. There's a perfect one for just about everybody. Oh, and they make great corporate gifts too. Place your order online, have it shipped locally or anywhere in the U.S. Visit their store at the Worthington Mall. Family owned for 2 generations. Go to SugarBushGourmetGiftBaskets.com. SugarBushGourmetGiftBaskets.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage gardening, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We're more connected than ever before. 90% of America's students use some form of social media, but not all of it's used in a good way. Hurtful posts online are leading to social isolation for many. Psychologists say it's bullying in a brand new way. Well, Beyond Differences and I Keep Safe are looking to change that with ideas for students, their parents, and even teachers. Take the pledge to be kind online and learn more at wearekindonline.com.
Pain is no fun, and pain is not the exclusive purview of people who are older. I've been remiss in painting the relief you can find with advanced regenerative therapies at QC Kinetics as something that maybe older people like myself, not that I'm elderly, but, you know, getting up there, I'm wrong. There are athletes who are getting major relief. You know, when you hear Emmett Smith talk about getting relief from QC Kinetics and other outstanding professional athletes who are now retired, you might think, well, only retired people need this treatment. No, people who are playing sports right now. A friend of mine has 2 teenagers playing sports. They've both gotten relief from QC Kinetics, or know people who has. So set up your free consultation in Gehenna and in Dublin. No matter what age, your issue may be something that can be solved with your blood, your platelets being re-injected into your body and providing those natural healing agents. Set it up by calling 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. So what are the arrests of Luigi Manglione, the assassin, apparently, of healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, and the acquittal of Daniel Penny and the resulting wig out on the left to Daniel Penny not being found guilty of any crime for coming to the rescue of people on a New York subway from a lunatic who was threatening to kill them? Someone is going to die today, Jordan Neely said. I'm not afraid to go to prison. Oh, but he was just a Michael Jackson impersonator. This is craziness. And as I said, we as conservatives, we want the government out of our lives. We want everybody out. We just want to be left at peace, live, freedom, liberty, all those things that our founders left us. And we relax when Donald Trump goes back to the White House and we think, okay, cool, Trump's on the case. He'll get his cabinet approved and we won't have to worry about this anymore. No, the mind virus doesn't die. Here's a demonstration of it. Scott Jennings, truth teller, CNN yesterday, trying to make it very simple for liberals with a piece of paper where he wrote right on one side, wrong on the other, and ordered the names right and wrong in a correct fashion, but it bent the brains of those on the panel with him.
When I hear lawmakers hailing Penny as a hero, as a good Samaritan, really being promoted, can you help me understand the thinking? Talking about the killer of the United Healthcare CEO being hailed in similar terms.
Yeah, let me just help you understand. If you're on the American left tonight, here's my chart. The good guys today, Daniel Penny. The bad guys, Luigi Mangione. It seems to me,
how do you
everybody
what's
on the
the
left
chart for victims?
I'm just telling you what I see out in the world.
I know. I just want you to finish the chart.
Which
victim is good.
You can make your own chart. What I'm telling you is
that's not a second page.
People on the left can't seem to tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys.
People on the left. I'm asking you whether you consider this person.
We have people praising
I want to
Luigi,
know whether you think that, as Congressman Crane does, that Daniel Penny should get the Congressional Gold Medal to recognize his heroism. I'm not asking you about anyone.
I think he ought to get medal. I think they ought to build a statue of this guy in New York City.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the dreaded R word. Race plays a role in this, right? And so we see it. Yes, absolutely. Because
wasn't there a similar case in New York City at the same time this was going on?
That when people kill people who are white, they tend to get harsher sentences, especially if they're people of color.
What about the Jordan Williams case?
That is what happens in our criminal justice system. No, I'm not going to stop because race absolutely plays a role in it.
I said, what about the Jordan Williams case here in New York? Same situation. African-American gets on a subway, ends up killing a guy. Grand jury tosses it out at the exact same time as the Penny case.
All right, there's a lot there. So let me take you through it. The first voice you heard, normally it's Abby Phillips moderating the panel on CNN. Not this day. She's off. So they have Audie Cornish a journalist in there, and she actually asks Scott Jennings after he says, "Here, let me explain this to you. The guy who was right is Daniel Penny. The guy who was wrong is Luigi Mangione, who assassinated." And then she goes, "Well, what about a chart for the victims?" We don't have victims, plural. We have victim, singular. Victim is Brian Thompson, the CEO. Jordan Neely is not a victim. Jordan Neely is an accessory to his own demise. Because if Jordan Neely had got on the subway and sat there quietly, he would have been able to exit the subway without being restrained by Daniel Penny and without dying due to the proliferation of drugs in his system and some other hereditary health condition that he had. What about the victims? There are no victims. There is victim. The innocent healthcare CEO who never met the guy who shot him in the back. That would be victim. The fact that she doesn't know that tells you how deep the roots of hatred and depravity run on the left. And then the other voice you heard at the end. Well, can I bring up? It's gotta be racism. That's Philadelphia Daily News columnist Solomon Jones. Okay, so this guy's got a column in a major American newspaper, and you can bet, and I've never seen his work, but you can bet that race is the chew toy and he is the pit bull who won't let go of it. And so if you think this is all going to go away because, well, Trump's returning to the White House and he's going to unleash Kash Patel on the FBI and he's named Harmeet Dillon as head of civil rights, it's going to take a lot more than that. It's going to take you, and I would include me, but I think I already fulfill this charge that I'm going to lay on you. It's going to take you and me not being afraid to say what is true, what Scott Jennings just said, what I just said. There are not victims in this. There is victim, singular. Brian Thompson. Luigi Mangione is not a victim. He went to an elite private school where he was valedictorian. Which means what, Bruce? Means he had a lot of rich friends. He went to a lot of rich parties. Was he a loner? Was he a good-looking kid, strong, muscular kid? He went to Penn, an Ivy League school. He went to Stanford. He lived in Hawaii. I have a question. How was Luigi Mangione found yesterday? Was he found because of one of his rich, elite, liberal friends said, holy crap, look at the picture of this guy in New York who assassinated the healthcare CEO. That's Luigi. No, that's not how he was found. Is it plausible that all the people who Luigi Mangione circulated with throughout his life, none of them recognized him on any of the pictures that came out? Is that possible? No, that is not possible. Why did New York City police not get a call from somebody in Maryland or somebody in Palo Alto, California at Stanford or at Penn or in Hawaii? Because the people who saw Luigi Mangione's picture knew well who he was and didn't want to rat him out. And the reason why they didn't want to rat him out is because they really didn't care that much about what he did. Because even though he came from the exact same circles as Brian Thompson probably circulates in now, that he was making $10 million a year as the CEO of United Healthcare, Luigi Mangione has luxury beliefs. He can believe that he's above the law and he can do whatever he wants to do because he's a crusader. You know who he admired with his big old brain? Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. That's who this kid looked up to.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk says negotiations over the war in Ukraine could start in the winter, just as Poland prepares to take over the rotating presidency of the EU come January 1st. President-elect Trump's Mideast envoy, Steve Witkoff, warns of serious consequences if the Gaza hostages are not released soon. He faces charges in Pennsylvania and in New York, a 26-year-old suspect in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. They've even landed in North Dakota. An illegal alien, allegedly a member of a violent Venezuelan gang, has been arrested in West Fargo, allegedly involved in a criminal ring targeting ATMs in the area. On Wall Street, the Dow trading 48 points higher. The Nasdaq is up 12. The S&P 1 point higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989.
Even before your alarm clock goes off, he's already hit the ground, running, ready to tell you what's going on in the world you're waking up to. He's Hugh Hewitt, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on your station for news, opinion, and action. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Wesley Financial Group is one law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Merry Christmas from Ohio Christian University. Ready to make 2025 the year you achieve your educational dreams? Earn your degree entirely online in business, psychology, ministry, and more. With 24/7 access to course materials, experienced faculty, and flexible schedules, success is within your reach from home. Classes start January 14th. Don't wait. Call 844-726-7937 or visit ohiochristian.edu/apply today. Ohio Christian University. Your future, your way.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
98.9theanswer.com. Happy to make available to you the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Sweepstakes yet again. Yes, sir. 7th straight year we are helping you if you are the lucky winner of the grand prize, the $18,000 grand prize. 99 The Answer will pay your mortgage payments or your rent. Not both. Sorry. Oh, up to $18,000. We will pay both for you. No, we will not pay both. I'm sorry. Strike that. I don't know why I said both. We will pay your mortgage or your rent payments, whatever you have. We will pay it up to $18,000 in the new year, 2025. Hard to believe, right? Yesterday I was at a meeting. We set a meeting for the new year. We wrote down 2024. We got to go through that again. A month, 2 months of writing down the wrong year. We got it straight, though. Your mortgage payments or your rent in 2025 will be paid if you are the winner of the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Sweepstakes. Okay, I'm buried the lead. How do you enter? You go to 989theanswer.com, of course. Enter once per day or more than once per day by completing bonus entries at 989theanswer.com. Now, you might think that the New York subways are going to be a whole lot safer now that Daniel Penny has been found not guilty of negligent homicide in the death of crazed, drug-addled, homeless, mentally ill Jordan Neely. You, however, do not have the mental acumen of one Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who yesterday was bemoaning the not guilty verdict of Daniel Penny, because Daniel Penny, in the wake of being acquitted by the jury, said despite all the needless prosecution that Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney, put him through, that Daniel Penny did not regret his actions. Of course, he did not regret his actions because he's a man of courage and valor and self-sacrifice. He's a U.S. Marine, and he knew that the right thing to do was to try to subdue Jordan Neely to protect passengers on the New York subway. Only the white passengers? No. In fact, there were black passengers on the subway train who testified at Daniel Penny's trial, saying that they were terrified and that they were very glad that Daniel Penny intervened. And there was one other person who was helping Daniel Penny subdue Jordan Neely, and that person was black. Oh, so even though Alvin Bragg's district attorney's office referred to Daniel Penny in court as, quote, the white defendant and as the white man, and the judge, Maxwell Wiley, allowed them to do it, the attempt by Alvin Bragg to use race to trigger something in the mind of one of the absolutely certain progressives sitting on the jury failed to convict Daniel Penny. But AOC is not happy that Daniel Penny, after being acquitted, won't admit that he's really, really sorry that he intervened and saved people on the subway train from the mayhem that Jordan Neely intended to inflict, and in fact promised to inflict, ranting, raving when he got on the car before Daniel Penny put him in a submission hold.
I just feel like that tells us everything. If we do not want violence on our subways, and the point of our justice system is a level of accountability to prevent a person who does not have remorse about taking another person's life. I mean, even people who have engaged in manslaughter or have taken a life accidentally and expressed remorse. And so the fact that a person may express no remorse indicates that there's a risk that it may happen again. And if we do not want to unleash that level of violence, then we should exert a level of accountability to prevent that from happening again.
So Daniel Penny is a dangerous vigilante who Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is afraid will do it again. But when the leader of BLM makes very, very clear what he wants to happen in the wake of Daniel Penny being acquitted, that didn't bother AOC at all. She didn't mention it at all. Here again, to refresh your memory, is Hawk Newsom, BLM, New York.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired too. I'm tired of this kind of discord. I am tired of this theme being sounded. This is satanic, this kind of hatred based upon racial lines. I guess when your given name is Walter, you have to change it to Hawk so you sound tough. But how many of you think Alvin Bragg today, now that he's been defeated in the Daniel Penny case, how many of you think Alvin Bragg heard that cut and went, hey, wait a minute, that's incitement to violence. Let's prosecute Walter Newsom for that, for causing discord in our city, for rallying people to come and chant outside the courtroom, to threaten. He threatened this demented person, Walter Newsom. I won't abide his attempt to sound tough because he's morally and mentally deranged. In court, after the verdict was read, this vermin looked at Daniel Penny and said, something to the effect of it's hard to hide in New York, or you're really easy to find, or he issued an overt threat in court. He went out on the courthouse steps and he said that we need some black vigilantes encouraging violence in the streets. He wasn't alone. He wasn't alone. He had others around him saying much the same thing, vile, despicable things. We're always told we need to have a conversation about race in America. No, we don't need to have a conversation about race in America. You know what we need to do? We need to change the conversation about race in America. There was a woman standing next to Walter Newsom saying much the same despicable thing.
These wonderful white people, I hope they celebrate their Christmas while the Neely family is praying and asking God for comfort. Damn them and damn America.
Wow. That's where we are. But, you know, as I said, it's the outset of the show. The roots of this mind virus run so deep. We should not be surprised that this exists in America, because it's been right in front of us on full display, flashing in neon for years and years and years and years. People who subscribe to the theory that abortion is healthcare, it is a women's right to choose. Are we surprised that they would view Luigi Mangione shooting a healthcare executive in the back as some kind of a hero? Are we surprised that they would look at Jordan Neely and characterize him, as the Associated Press did yesterday, as a, quote, subway rider? You know what the Associated Press headline was yesterday on Daniel Penny's acquittal? Here it is. Breaking news, Daniel Penny, the veteran who used a chokehold on subway rider Jordan Neely, has been acquitted in Neely's death. Oh, Daniel Penny's a veteran who used a chokehold, not a submission hold, a chokehold. Did Jordan Neely die of asphyxiation? No, he didn't. He had a heartbeat when the police showed up. It was Jordan Neely. He's just riding a subway. He's just a subway rider. He's not a guy who said somebody's going to die today. I'm not afraid of going to jail, ranting, raving. Not somebody who had knocked down elderly women before. Not somebody who had a long criminal record. Not somebody, oh, wait, there's more. On the left, they're posting things about Jordan Neely. Oh, he didn't deserve this. He needed to be housed. He's not homeless, you know. He's unhoused, okay? And so we had people posting online yesterday that this is not what Jordan needed. He needed, I'm trying to find the tweet. I retweeted it. Here's Congressman Jasmine Crockett, race grifter. Jordan Neely was unarmed. He needed support and care. Instead, he received a death sentence. His family grieves while the man who took his life walks free. Tiffany Caban, I don't know her, she's a leftist. Jordan Neely deserved better than the violence of being denied access to stable housing and health care, and then dehumanized for it. He deserved better than the systems that allow for and justify extrajudicial white supremacist violence against black people. In 2021, Jordan Neely punched a 67-year-old woman on the subway and was given free access to housing and health care at a treatment facility in the Bronx. He walked out of the facility 13 days later. It wasn't that no one wanted to help Jordan Neely. It was that Jordan Neely turned his back on the help that he was given. His family cared about Jordan Neely only after he died, of actions that he himself was responsible for, of bad life choices or bad DNA or bad, whatever. But Daniel Penny was not responsible for his death. Daniel Penny was responsible for preventing other deaths on the subway that day.
Occasional rain for the afternoon. The high today at 51. Periods of rain this evening. Otherwise, clouds and cold tonight. Low down to 32. A bit of snow early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, clouds and breezy and cold. The high at 36. And then tomorrow night, clear, brisk, and cold. Low down to 16. For Thursday, partly sunny, windy, cold day. High 24. And then cloudy skies for Friday. The high Friday afternoon, 39. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
ProView Remodeling, Ohio's #1 choice in sunroofs, windows, doors, decks, sidings, patios, porches, basements, and bathroom remodels. Call ProView Remodeling today and get 25% off or 60 months, 0 interest. That's right, 60 months, 0 interest. Call or text 7 days a week, 614-756-3140. You win with ProView Remodeling, 614-756-3140. Check us out at ProViewRemodeling.com.
The Christmas Mortgage Miracle is back. For 7 years, 98.9 FM The Answer and the Christmas Mortgage Miracle has made it possible to win next year's mortgage or rent. This year, the grand prize is $18,000. Increase your opportunity to win by entering up to once per day and complete optional bonus tasks for even more chances to win. Receive this blessing for 2025 with the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Sweepstakes. Enter to win today at 9890theanswer.com. That's 9890theanswer.com.
When it comes to safety, don't settle for anything less than the best. At Elite Fire Services, we protect what matters most, your business and your peace of mind. Our expert team provides top-notch fire safety inspections, and we service fire extinguishers, fire sprinkler systems, backflow preventers, fire alarms, kitchen hood suppression systems, and exit lighting. Visit elitefire.org today to get a free quote and ensure your fire safety is in elite hands. Because when it comes to protection, you deserve the best. Elite Fire Services, your safety is our mission.
The fentanyl epidemic is killing 400 Americans per day. The new documentary, Fentanyl Death Incorporated, takes a deep dive into this deadly killer.
It is the equivalent of a 747 going down every 2 days.
The 9,000 kilograms that were seized by the HIDTA program last year is sufficient to kill the population of the United States several times over.
Americans age 18 to 45 are the #1 consumers of fentanyl. Our friends, our neighbors, our own family members.
The Surgeon General released the report on the epidemic of loneliness, and that is a real thing.
Where is all of this stuff coming from?
Who's in the fentanyl supply chain? Where are the super labs? How are they using our open borders to cause such devastation?
All roads lead back to China.
The danger is all around us. The time is now.
They're killing our children. How do we change that?
Don't miss this important documentary report, Fentanyl Death Incorporated. It could save the life of someone you love. Available exclusively at salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
We need to be realistic about our December diet. It's got to be the worst month of the year in terms of eating right. Inevitably, we'll stuff treats, meats, dishes into our mouths, leaving very little room for the right stuff. But you should be taking Balance of Nature every single day. Balance of Nature is made from whole fruit and veggie ingredients, and you shouldn't skip taking these daily supplements. I never do. It's the one thing I'm going to get right because feeling good is important to me, especially in December. Join me in pushing back against the dreaded December diet crash. Get Balance of Nature, fruits and veggies in capsule form. That's all it is. You're going to love it. Use my discount code MikeG. Sign up as a new customer to get 50% off, plus free shipping and their money-back guarantee. This is an awesome December discount, but you got to use my discount code MikeG. Call 800-246-8751 and use the discount code MikeG. 800-246-8751, discount code MikeG, or order online, balanceofnature.com. Use the discount code MikeG to get 50% off plus free shipping.
If you're looking for new flooring, I hope you'll consider going to brucehooley.com and giving me a chance to provide you a quote, show you what I can do for you in terms of new carpet or new luxury vinyl plank flooring for your home. We do residential, we do commercial, and I would love to get the opportunity to get to meet you, first of all, because chances are the only way you're going to hear about it is through listening to my show. And I love meeting my listeners. Radio is kind of a antiseptic medium. It doesn't give me the chance to really get to know the people who listen to the show. I never really know if you're listening or not, but if you hear about the opportunity you have to have your flooring redone and you go to brucehooley.com and click flooring, well, that would be one way that we could get to meet each other. I have met some super awesome people through this just in the past couple of weeks. Ruth and Dana and Bob and Jeannie. I mean, it's just so much fun meeting you guys and hearing that you listen to the show. And even if you don't listen to the show or don't like the show, I'd still like the opportunity to help you out. So go to brucehooley.com and click flooring at the top of the page. So we've been talking in the first hour of the Bruce Hooley Show about the mixed up logic on the left, treating the likely assassin of healthcare CEO Brian Thompson as a hero, and treating Daniel Penny, who is a true hero, as a villain, as someone who is indicative of white supremacy because the person that he subdued on a New York subway was black. It's not the only defining characteristic of Jordan Neely. It's just the only one that really matters to the left. It doesn't matter that he was severely mentally compromised. Doesn't matter that he was a drug addict. Doesn't matter that he was homeless. I mean, everything bad that happened to Jordan Neely in his life, the left would have you believe, happened from the moment that Jordan Neely tried to subdue him to keep him from hurting other people. It sparked a call from Tina in Powell. You can always call the show 844-TALK-989, 844-TALK-989. Hi, Tina. Welcome to the Bruce Hooley Show. My pleasure. Yeah. Yep. I'm so glad you brought this up, because I should have pointed this out, and I genuinely mean I'm so glad you brought this up, because I have friends who have children who brought them much pain in their life, just like I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, I don't know, but just like it's very possible Jordan Neely brought his own family much pain. And I have counseled my friends, and I would counsel you not to bear any individual guilt for choices that your children make or things that they do. And there comes a time where you have to detach to protect yourself. And so I'm very sorry if you took it that I would be lecturing you or anyone you know who made this decision. What I find suspicious in the case of Jordan Neely is that I don't think a family would then go and sue someone. You sound like you have a very clear picture of what your child is or whoever you're referring to has done in their life, and you seem to understand that their choices are theirs and they hurt you. I don't view you as someone, nor do I think it's noble in the case of Jordan Neely's family for them to try to capitalize, via a lawsuit on his death. That's the point. That's the point I should have made more articulately than I did. So thank you for listening, and thank you for calling and bringing that to my attention. Thank you very much. That's Tina and Powell. That's an important point, and that's a point I should have made. Like I say, I don't do this perfectly. I know I don't do it perfectly. I pray that I'll not disgrace the faith with anything I said. I know I sometimes come off as not compassionate, but that was an important point that she made, because I do have friends who have been put through the worst kinds of circumstances by decisions their children have made. And there is a point, there's a reason why there's a phrase, the age of accountability. And there is an age of accountability. And at that point in time, parents sometimes have to say, I'm going to release you into God's hands, and you're going to have to experience the consequences of your actions, because sometimes that's the only thing that brings a person back. And you have to free yourself of any feelings like you're responsible for that, because when they reach a certain point in their life, you're not responsible for that anymore. You've done the best you could. You've given them the best advice you can. But in that situation, it certainly looks to me like Jordan Neely's family is attempting to profit off what happened to him. And what happened to him is sad. It's extremely sad. We got a situation here in Columbus this week. I was reading, we've got story today, Columbus Dispatch. A guy by the name of Sadiq Teague was shot to death. And they've sentenced the person who killed him, Davion Carroll, 22, to life in prison. Let me tell you about Sadiq Teague, a Canal Winchester man who came to prominence because he was, speak of coincidence, on the New York subway arrested with an AR-15. Okay? So what would make a person get on a New York subway, one of the most liberal cities in America, with an AR-15? The tale of woe in this young man's family. And he's dead. He was fatally shot. They sentenced the guy who killed him to life in prison. In March of 2021, this murder victim, Sadiq Teague, the guy with the AR-15 on the New York subway, his father was shot and killed after engaging in a shootout with Columbus police and the Franklin County Sheriff's deputies on I-270. He was wanted. So the dad of the murder victim I'm talking about, the guy with the AR-15, the dad was wanted for shooting at his brother in South Linden in 2021. In April of 2021, Sadiq Teague was arrested in New York City after police officers found him at a subway station with an unloaded AK-47, but he had a loaded magazine next to it. Here's the kicker, okay? Tell me if this reminds you of Jordan Neely's family. I'm going to read straight from the Dispatch. In July 2021, the Dispatch wrote a profile on Sadiq Teague after family, teachers, and others who knew him thought he was unfairly demonized as a potential terrorist or mass murderer following his New York City arrest. They described him as a kind, fun-loving kid who deserved a second chance. This kind of liberal BS. If you get on a New York subway with an AK-47 and a loaded magazine, the police are right to assume your intentions are bad. Oh, there's a guy with an AK-47. Well, it's not, the magazine's not in the gun and probably doesn't have any bullets in it. But you know what? If it does and he murders 100 people on the subway, we're probably going to wish we had done something about it. But there's always a chance that he could be a kind, fun-loving kid who deserves a second chance. And we wouldn't want to get in the way of that, because a couple years later, Jordan Neely, he's just a Michael Jackson impersonator, right? He's just a subway rider. And Daniel Penny shouldn't have tried to restrain him to protect other people on the subway. No, he probably should have given Jordan Neely the room to prove that he was just kidding around when he said he got on the subway and somebody's going to die today and I'm not afraid I go to prison. This attitude is a luxury belief that people who are above the consequences of allowing dangerous people to circulate in our society, whether they are illegal immigrants or whether they are mentally ill people, these are luxury beliefs that people hold because they are immune from the consequences of the policies they advocate for. And it's sad when a Sadiq Teague is murdered. And it's sad that he came from a family where his dad had to be shot by police after fleeing from them, after shooting at his own brother. And these are policies that are put forward by Democrats like those who run Columbus and run New York City and run other big cities around the country.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If your local business is ready to take the next step, Google Salem Surround Columbus right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
There's a threat targeting America: Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, this dangerous disease can cause life-changing health problems and is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. So it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside and seeing a doctor if you experience the warning signs, which can include joint pain and flu-like symptoms. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Find us at 99theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. New York prosecutors have charged Luigi Mangione with murder in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione being held without bail in Pennsylvania. That's after he was arrested and arraigned on gun, forgery, and other charges the day before. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says vigilante justice by ideologues makes everyone less safe.
I understand people have real frustration with our healthcare system, and I have worked to address that throughout my career. But I have no tolerance, nor should anyone, for one man using an illegal ghost gun to murder someone because he thinks his opinion matters most.
Mangione is expected to be extradited to New York eventually. Also at townhall.com, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in court this week.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is taking the stand in his long-running trial for alleged corruption, setting off what's expected to be a weeks-long spectacle that will draw unwelcome attention to his legal woes as he faces an international arrest warrant for war crimes, and the fighting in Gaza continues. Netanyahu is charged with fraud, breach of trust, and accepting bribes in 3 separate cases. Netanyahu denies wrongdoing, saying the charges are a witch hunt. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Firefighters are battling a wildfire in Malibu, California, near Pepperdine University that's prompting evacuations. Los Angeles County Fire Department officials are estimating at least 2.8 square miles have been burned. Structures were being threatened here. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 54 points. The NASDAQ down 9 points. More at townhall.com.
Clouds, occasional rain for the afternoon. High today at 51. Periods of rain this evening. Otherwise, clouds and cold tonight. Low down to 32. A bit of snow early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, clouds and freezing cold. The high at 36. And then tomorrow night, clear, brisk and cold. Low down to 16. For Thursday, partly sunny, windy, cold day. Night 24. And then cloudy skies for Friday. Friday afternoon, 39. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
The Miller Cabinet Company of Plain City is a faith-based company, doing the right things for the right reasons for over 70 years. We hold in faith that Jesus is the reason for the season. To many,
what do I do with it? There it is. There it is. There it is.
He is so much more. So I invite you to join us this Christmas in declaring Jesus to be the true reason for the season. From all of us at the Miller Cabinet Company of Plain City, we want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
That's our sports. I'm Jeremy House. In the NBA, only one game last night saw the New York Knicks getting the better of the Toronto Raptors at a score of 113 to 108.
When the Knicks starting 5 plays well, they usually win, and that was the case again Monday. All 5 starters finished in double-figure scoring. Karl Anthony Towns led the way with 24 points to go along with 15 rebounds. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson had 20 points to go along with 11
Telemarketer, go away.
New York is starting to turn the corner after a
You guys get bugged by telemarketers? I do all the time.
their last 6 games.
Remember the do not call list? They're going to give us the do not call list. That was going to take care of all the telemarketer calls and all the political calls and all that. Whatever happened to the do not call list?
Dallas wants to block the punt to give the ball back to Cincinnati in the final 2 minutes. Bengals beat the Cowboys 27 to 20. In the NHL, winners were Chicago, Detroit, and Montreal. SRN Sports.
So I'm going to hang for another 2 segments here on the live stream. Appreciate you guys joining. And we're going to talk more about these this crazy upside down paradox of
the Heisman has been given to
logic.
the most outstanding
Crazy
football player since 1935. This year's winner will be announced Saturday in New York. The top 4 vote getters, determined by more than 900 voters, are selected as finalists. The voting panel includes members of the media and former Heisman winners. Quarterback Jaden Daniels is the reigning winner. 6 of the last 7 Heisman.
Let's see if my Heisman winner made the list of finalists.
Meanwhile, quarterback Carson Beck's status for number 2 Georgia's Sugar Bowl college football playoff quarterfinal is uncertain after he suffered an elbow injury in Saturday's Southeast Conference Championship game. This is SRN Sports.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The new administration has hinted at one of its boldest moves yet, America's return to the gold standard.
Backing the U.S. dollar with gold would create stability.
Dylan Gabriel, Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, Cam Ward. We're not allowed to disclose our Heisman votes ahead of time, and I fully sanction that because it's the Heisman's award and they should be able to announce it. Been fortunate to be the state chairman for the Heisman in Ohio for 30 years. So gave that over to someone else this year because I'm not covering sports full time. But the guy that I would vote for, great player, a lot of great players. But I will not disclose anything about my vote until after Saturday.
For maximum growth. Call Premier Gold at 606-800-8000. Call 606-800-8000 now. Premier Gold is not a financial advisor. Please consult with your advisor before investing. Call 606-800-8000.
Welcome in hour number 2, Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. You can always catch the show by taking us with you wherever you go. If you're not on your terrestrial car radio or home radio or Alexa or Siri or anybody else, you can use the iHeartTuneInRadio.com app. You can download the Answer app, search 989 The Answer in the iTunes and Google Play Store. We spent hour number 1 talking about the upside down logic of the left that the shooter, likely shooter, of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, Luigi Mangione, found at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, wearing a mask. Oh, Luigi, you're a smart guy, but probably you were more noticeable with the mask because nowadays in Altoona, Pennsylvania, maybe in New York City, you could wear a mask and people would go, yeah, he's afraid. He's a Taylor Lorenz. He's afraid of getting COVID. But in Altoona, Pennsylvania, no, you wear a mask, you stand out like a sore thumb. And people go, wait, why is he wearing a mask? Young kid like that. Wait a minute, he looks like the subway shooter. And they call. You'll notice, point I made in hour number 1, Luigi Mangione, educated at an elite private school in Maryland where he was valedictorian, comes from a family that owns country clubs and healthcare facilities, went to Penn, Ivy League school, very expensive. Worked at Stanford, Palo Alto, California, liberal bastion. Lived in Hawaii. Ugh. You check the cost of living in Hawaii. Got a lot of money on him, 26 years old. He could still be covered by his parents' Obamacare. He hates the healthcare industry so much. Maybe you ought to research when healthcare costs skyrocketed under his beloved Barack Obama with all Democrat support. If you like your doctor, Luigi, you can keep your doctor, you know. So they find him at a McDonald's, but none of his friends noticed him on the pictures circulating online. Nobody he went to school with, nobody that he networked with, nobody said, hey, man, that looks like Luigi. A guy we haven't heard from in months, a guy that did social media accounts. Remember a guy who wanted him in his wedding, goes, hey, bro, I haven't heard from you in months. I need to know. You're going to be a lot of friends concerned about Luigi. None of them stepped forward to go, hey, I think the guy in the picture is Luigi. Had to be an anonymous McDonald's minimum wage worker in Altoona, Pennsylvania, who identified him. You find that odd? I find that odd. Now, here at home, we have the identity of the Ohio State student shot on campus. An innocent victim, an innocent bystander, much like those on the subway in New York City where Jordan Neely was threatening people. Someone's going to die today. I'm not afraid to go to prison. And Daniel Penny intervened. And now Daniel Penny is being vilified and threatened because he's a white guy who subdued a black guy. Well, we need people like Daniel Penny to protect people like Nathan Demian. Who's Nathan Demian? Oh, he's the Ohio State student who got shot when 2 people decided to shoot at each other in cars on Chittenden Avenue at 2 a.m. Sunday. Nathan Demian gets a second day in the headlines. Do you know why Nathan Demian gets a second day in the headlines? Because yesterday he was just an Ohio State student who got shot. Today, Nathan Demian gets not 1, but 2 stories in the Columbus Dispatch. You know why? And why we have people about Nathan Demian and what a great kid he was? Not because he's dead, thankfully, but because Nathan Demian is an Ohio State athlete. That's why he matters more than Sadiq Teague, the kid I told you about at the top of the hour, who came from a family with a long history of violence in Columbus, Ohio, out of Linden, where none of the people who were elected to public office in the city of Columbus did a doggone thing to help him escape those circumstances. And I'm not saying Nathan Demian did anything wrong. He didn't. He was just minding his own business on the streets around Chittenden Avenue and North High Street on Sunday when he got shot. Now he can't play in the NCAA soccer tournament. He's been a 3-year starter for the Buckeyes. And that is very sad because he's totally innocent in this. But this is why attitudes that proliferate on the left that, oh, we can't get gun violence under control because guns are the problem. You know what we need to do? You know what we need to do on the left? We need to confiscate those guns. Because if we got rid of all those guns, well, then we wouldn't have people like Nathan Demian getting shot while just having fun as an Ohio State soccer player on the streets. Except here's the problem, libtard, with getting rid of all the guns. You know, Luigi Mangione yesterday was found in the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, likely with the gun that he used to assassinate Brian Thompson. Now, why would Luigi Mangione hang on to that gun? Well, because he went to a lot of trouble to get it, because he printed it out on a 3D printer. It was a ghost gun, which means it didn't have a serial number, which means it was untrackable. So all your background checks that you want to do at Vance and LEPD and the powder room and all the other places around Columbus and Rural King and every place else and Dick's Sporting Goods that sell guns, and you say, well, you know, we got to have universal background checks. What are you going to do about the thousands of 3D printers that are shipped out every single day? Because Luigi Mangione's gun was made with parts that he bought online and plans that he bought online and printed out on a 3D printer, and so was the silencer attached to the gun. So good luck, Andy Ginther, paying out thousands of dollars to people in Columbus, Ohio, because we're getting guns off the street so Nathan Demian won't get shot in the campus area. Performative BS. Let's take the guns away from people who will stand in line at Vance and fill out a federal gun registration form, because those are the people that Merrick Garland's Justice Department really needs to keep an eye on. But privileged, rich, Ivy League educated kids like Luigi Mangione, oh, he's just a crusader for justice. He's a hero, shooting a guy in cold blood in the back on the streets of New York City. Did he even know that Brian Thompson has a wife and 2 kids in high school and will be waking up in Minnesota to a phone call that nobody ever wants to get? That your husband, your dad, has just been gunned down on the streets of New York City by some Ted Kaczynski Unabomber admirer? Man, we are so messed up in this country. And thankfully, Piers Morgan called out Taylor Lorenz, formerly of the New York Times and the Washington Post, on her utter garbage. I played the first cut from her where she went on yesterday and said, well, you know, my first reaction to it was joy. Watching a fellow human being shot in the back? Dying. Yes, thousands of people in America are dying. You want to revamp our healthcare system? You want the government to get involved? Could you answer the question for me, please? In what industry has the government gotten involved that has gotten better once the government got involved? Is it that we don't spend enough on healthcare in the United States? That we don't care enough? Would you like to know what percentage of the GDP in the United States of America we spend on healthcare? 16%. You know what they spend in Germany? Oh, liberal country Germany. You know what they spend? 12.7%. You know what they spend in Canada and France and Japan? Ask the former Blue Jackets radio guy, Jeff Rimmer, about universal health care in Canada. Rims was fortunate. When he had a catastrophic heart issue, he was able to get It happened when he was in the United States, because he told me, he said, if I had to wait in Canada, I'd have waited for months and months and months to get treated. They spend 10% of their GDP on healthcare in Canada, France, and Japan. In Central and Eastern European countries and Latin America, they spend less than 7%. And our healthcare percentage is expected to go up to 20% by 2031. So it's not that we don't spend enough. It's that the government has made costs skyrocket, which sparked a question from Piers Morgan to Taylor Lorenz that maybe if one healthcare executive getting assassinated is good, maybe more need to get assassinated. Is that the logic we should follow?
Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
Well, why not?
And
why are you laughing?
I think because it wouldn't fit.
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question
A
funny.
bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year, and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix the system. You're right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that this murder has led to America, or really the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time. You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
I've dealt with the healthcare system in various ways in America. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but the idea that I would view it as something.
Have you been denied life?
Hang on. The idea that I would view it as something joyful that a man has been, who's just a healthcare executive, has been executed in the street.
On occasional rain for the night today at 51. Periods of rain this evening. Otherwise, clouds and cold tonight. Low down to 32. A bit of snow early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, cloudy and breezy and cold. The high at 36. And then tomorrow night, clear, brisk and cold. Low down to 16. For Thursday, partly sunny, windy, cold day, high 24. And then cloudy skies for Friday. High Friday afternoon, 39. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors, co-workers, and friends. We are your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters. We are the people you see in your community every day. While we serve part-time, we're learning valuable life and job skills that we can use in our civilian careers. We get up to 100% of our tuition paid for at state colleges, so we can have an even better future. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. Through every storm, every flood, every emergency that hits home here in Ohio, we are ready to respond and help our fellow Ohioans recover. We are every city, every small town, and every community. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
America, it's time to align your money with your American values and stop giving it to companies that partner with the woke movement. Let your patriotic values guide how you invest your money and save for your future. With Monorail's Patriot Portfolio, you can grow your wealth and save for retirement knowing that you're investing in companies that align with biblical and conservative values. Right now, for a limited time, get a $50 sign-up bonus when you deposit as little as $13 with Monorail Stars and Stripes Rewards program. The more you deposit, the more you earn. Guaranteed 1% sign-up bonus on any deposit amount. Refer a friend and receive an additional $20. Friends, Monorail's portfolio is exactly what Christians and conservatives have been waiting for. No more giving money to companies.
Oh, no kidding.
With
What's that?
Monorail, you'll have peace of mind knowing that you are helping to create a better America.
That's no fun.
Today at monorail.com/church. That's monorail.com/church.